best example I can give is when Nick, the oldest of us, was all set to go to boarding school and was quivering with fear. Understanding this, and knowing of Nick's great love of tennis, she arranged for him to attend a week's summer camp at Stowe, working with that love of his to help him realise that staying away from home could be a lovely thing and not something to be worried about. And visiting or staying with her was always a treat. I remember particularly the extended stays I would have at Craigelley, the house she shared with her second husband, Yanni. Now he would always have a twinkle in his eye and a magic trick to share. But she would always encourage the sorts of things that you never felt were quite allowed. And she would always find the right angle to unlock. Often this was just exploring, and what a great house and gardens it was to explore with many little toys and distractions lying about. But I think all five of us would still stake hand on heart that her spinning chair, an armchair on a metal base, was still by far the most superior in all the world. And her homemade lemonade. And her meringues. Always made with just a dash of vinegar to keep the centres soft. My thing, I think, was games, and she would indulge me greatly. And a few times, my visits would coincide with a friend of hers called Maisie, a great friend to the family, and the three of us would play board games together. They would allow me to play with numbers, a tile game called Rummy Cup, and after that they would clean up between them and scrap. But a happy memory. And I think she found these sorts of angles with everyone. Perhaps you'd agree. A bit of puns, but she certainly travelled and visited friends at all corners of the globe. I remember that for me being very exciting, hearing of the places she'd been, the people she knew, the stories she brought back. But I found it quite difficult, I confess, to hear these from her, because she was so good at habitually seeking what was passionate from you that it was very difficult, I found, to hear her news. But if she was great at hearing from us, there was one area we really could get her to spill the beans on, and that was the subject of our grandfather. Arthur Ramage died a few weeks before Nick was born, so none of us ever knew him. And I think she felt a duty to link us to that past. And I remember her much more recently, sitting with Alice, my wife, and her really opening up about him. But from the beginning, straight away, shedding tears at the memory. So thank you, Molly, so much for sharing all the love and the memories you had with us. Tim, I know you remember in particular her and you swinging through the branches of the family tree together when we were down in Provence together for Nick's wedding. Sadly, Nick, who recently moved to Sydney, and Simon, my cousin, who's on duty with the army in a sandy part of the world, can't be with us today. But I ask that you join Jay, Tim, and I in finding a happy memory or a happy taste from her cooking, or a song, something that reminds you of Molly, my granny, and think on it a while, and smile.